So I read a book by Glenn Beck, and if you don't know who Glenn Beck is, he is a libertarian commentator. I don't know exactly what he does now, but back in the day, he was a libertarian commentator on like TV and radio. And I read his book, The Overton Window, which I'm a huge sucker for conspiracy thrillers. If it has, like government plots or secret societies or the Illuminati or something, I just love that type of genre, and I get a huge kick out of them. So I read his book, The Overton Window, and him being a political commentator, has a lot to say about, the proper extent of government and what a good government should do and what a bad government would do. So I don't want to talk about that, but I want to talk about it on a literary level, just purely from a literary standpoint, what I thought about the book. And to give a little more context, this book was published, I think, in 2010, which was like at the height or like very close to the Tea Party era, if you remember that, where it's very much about like returning to what the founding fathers originally intended with the Constitution, and a lot of kind of like Americanism, low taxes, all that sort of stuff. So that's just context. But that theme runs throughout the book pretty heavily, you could say. And this book was actually kind of surprised me about. It was decently written. I think he used a ghostwriter, and which he's been fairly upfront about, I think. So it wasn't like written by him per se, but he might have come up with the idea or something. I'm not sure. But prose wise, it was actually pretty decent. There was a few points where I was like, can we move on? And plot wise, it kept going steadily. There was no super slow points or anything. There was a little bit of maybe fluff because there was a romance plot and everything. So there was a little bit of fluff, in my opinion. And I'm not like against fluff. It's just, the less is more sort of thing, in my opinion. Character wise, there were some pretty good characters, as in, they were like interesting or had some interesting motivations, or, the main character's father is the president or like the CEO of a PR firm, and he's very good at what he does. So PR, the kind of interesting ways that PR influences like the news or our society, or people's perceptions was an interesting theme. There were some other interesting characters, like sort of like with a political bent, like back in 2010 when libertarianism was like kind of before it became a meme, and when it was maybe a little more cool, I guess. I don't know what the word is. There's some interesting like characters that are kind of like funny tropes, I suppose, in like the libertarian community. And the ultimate like moral of the story, in my opinion, was that everyone's a Fed. So just, don't believe anyone who is saying that they're going to make some kind of drastic action, I guess is the best way I could put it. So I thought overall it was kind of decent, and I think there was definitely some things that I personally would have done differently if I were to write a story like that. I don't want to spoil too much, but the characters have interesting arcs. I didn't like some of the characters as much as maybe the author intended. But yeah, I suppose I'd give it like at least like 3.5 out of 5 stars. Decent book. If you like conspiracy thrillers, you might like it. If you like libertarians, you'll probably identify with a lot of it. But yeah, check it out if you are interested.